Record. Hi, everybody. It's been a long time, I know, since right before the Super Bowl, but we've all had some things to do and, of course, some winter blues to get through and some couple illnesses, a couple moves, a couple family things, but we're getting ready to get back and roll this stuff back up. So we are still in the cheap seats. We stopped scalping our tickets and we're going to take the seats ourselves. And we're going to go ahead and let this baby rip. Roger should be on in a little bit. He'll join us too. Bill, how you been, buddy?
Not too bad, Johnny. Getting by.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do, pal. Uh, there's a whole bunch of sports news, obviously, since we've left. There's some NFL stuff, and both of us have on our big screens. The Ovechkin watch is on as they're playing the Islanders in New York today. And if the Great Eight scores a goal today, he will break the record uh, of Wayne Gretzky, who is in the crowd. They say I haven't seen a shot of him yet, but I'm pretty sure he's there somewhere. Uh, and they did just show Ovechkin's family, and he only needs one, and he got two the last game against the Blackhawks. So it could happen at any moment. Uh,
That's amazing. A 39-year-old guy. He's got what?
yep.
I think he's got 39 goals. As a matter of fact, I think his next one will be number 40, I believe.
Yeah. And I'm looking at stuff, Bill, and the other day it showed this is technically the same today, the same number of games where Gretzky scored his 894 over 1,400 games, 1,400 and I think 27.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Gretzky scored his 894. This is 1427 for Ovechkin. So it's really strange that same amount of games to be this close.
Oh yeah.
That's just, but it tells you how good a player. Now, Gretzky did have a lot more assists.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, 1487. There it is, Bill. See the
Yep.
graphic?
1487, 894 goals.
87, 894 goals.
That's something.
And then, of course, they got the graphic. He's had a shot on goal already. Woo! So, um, and yep, there he is, Capitan.
No, once they get the power play, that it could be all she wrote.
Oh, he'll be out there. He's had two shifts already, they said, but total ice time's only been a minute. Yeah, they get a power play. You know he's going to be out there. Did you know the other night though he had a chance to get it in an open net? They had like with about 3 or 4 minutes left, and they his teammates and his coach kept asking him, "You want to go in? You want to go in? You want to go in?" And he said no. He doesn't want to do it with an open net. He wants to do it with a
Yeah.
goaltender in the net. So I give him credit for that too, because it would have been an easy, probably would have been a gimme at
Yeah.
some point, and then they decided no. He decided nope, I'm not going to do it. And they had somebody on the bench uh, to verify that. Like a
Hmm.
reporter was nearby, so that's where it came from. As they heard all that going on, and they said he's just shaking his head, going, "No, no, no." He goes, "Need a goalie, need a goalie." Is all he kept saying. So good for him. Uh,
Yep.
and the cool part is, it's not the team is good still. It's not like he's doing this, but the team is giving up stuff to get him his goals.
Hmm.
He's a part of the team, and the team is doing really well. I mean, they're a Stanley Cup favorite at the moment, one of them. So, uh, going to be interesting. So we'll see what if he gets it today or not. But it's interesting to watch and good for him. So he's doing it the right way.
Hmm.
Super Bowl. We're going to segue right into the last thing that we looked at back in February. I changed my pick last minute, notified Billy and Roger. Uh, I didn't, I was fighting that Eagles feeling for 2 weeks, saying, no, 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 no. I got to stick with Patrick Mahomes. I got to ride the horse. But finally, I think it was the day before, I said, I'm fighting myself. And part of the reason we do this show is I go with my hunches and you go with more numbers you know, and I go with eye tests. And for some reason, it just hit me that I said, you know what? Just go back and do what you do. That's when I changed it. But I admit I didn't think it would turn out like that.
Nah.
No. I
Now,
thought
as a matter of fact, it wasn't even entertaining after a while. It was just,
no,
it
no.
was,
And it's still a hard game for me because I still root for both teams.
yeah.
So it was still a hard game, but I just couldn't do it. It just I had to pull the trigger on the Eagles, and that's finally what worked.
Mm,
But and Hertz played his eyeballs off. You know,
yeah.
he, he couldn't be stopped. I mean, I guess I kind of like the fact that he doesn't have to go back and throw for 300 yards. He can find other ways to move the team.
Hmm.
Uh, that's going to be interesting this year because of you lose your offensive coordinator again. He's went through four of them since he's been in the league, I think. So it's hard for quarterback to, but they took somebody in house that worked there last year under Moore, so that might make the transition a bit easier because it'll be the same offense, same stuff. But uh, and the Chiefs are already trying to sign offensive linemen because they know that's their weakness.
Right.
Um, let Hopkins go. Uh, re-signed Kelsey. Well, Kelsey staying for another year. Um, so that's going to be interesting as too. Eagles lost a lot of defensive guys.
Yeah. I think they were suspecting that because they got a lot of young guys too that could
Yeah,
fill in there.
yeah,
So
they have a lot of depth there, though. Yeah, and let's face it, Roseman finds guys in the draft too. So um, I think it's going to be again an interesting situation next year for Philadelphia. It's going to be interesting for the Chiefs because I think now a lot of teams see, or at least will think, we can beat these guys. Uh, and the Chargers are coming. Uh, the Broncos are coming.
hmm.
And the Raiders now are getting a piece of stability.
Yeah.
One of the things to talk about now is they signed, everybody was like, well, the Raiders are going to take a quarterback. Doesn't look like it now because they extended Geno 2 more years plus the year he has.
Yeah.
And he's back with Pete Carroll. Uh, and say what you will about him, he might be a 75-year-old rah-rah guy, but it works. He's been a winner everywhere he's went
Hmm.
as far as a winning record, and I think the Raiders are going to improve. So that division's not going to be easy for Kansas City this year.
Hmm.
Then you still got Buffalo's going to improve, I think. Uh, Baltimore, you can't count them out. I know Kansas City did re-sign Hollywood Brown, which was a little surprising. I thought he would go somewhere else, but I think they knew they were going to lose Hopkins. They have Worthy. They might have Rice coming back, and then and you keep Hollywood Brown. That's two or three pretty good threats right there.
Hmm.
Pacheco comes back healthier than he has been, and they kept Kareem Hunt. Their offense may be all right, but they got to worry about the defense a little bit.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs, he signed with the
Good
Patriots.
sign with the Yep, he signed with the Patriots.
Patriots made a trade with Dallas, Joe
Yep,
Milton.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I still think that division's going to be Buffalo's to win. Um, but I don't see the Jets doing much. I don't see uh, Miami doing much better. They're so inconsistent. Uh, so I think New England could finish two. I don't think they'll get in the playoffs, but
Right.
I do like their quarterback. Um, he's coming too. So
And
uh,
we got a good coach, Rabel's there. I mean,
Vrabel's there. I think it'll take him a year to get his people in there as far as players, his type of people. He'll take the one good ones now, but it's going to take a year or so for him to get the personnel he wants. Uh, and folks, if it looks like we're distracted and not looking in, we are watching this Ovechkin thing as well, so we can actually update you guys if he does it while we're on.
yeah.
Uh,
He actually has 41 goals total. So
Oh yeah, there it
I've
is.
got to add the two from the other night, I guess.
Yeah. 7 empty net and one in overtime. How about that? So, um, so yeah, if you go through the NFL, it could be some of the same. I think Detroit, they're getting all their guys back. People got to watch out for that. Minnesota, you don't know about JJ McCarthy. Is he as good as everybody says? Some people think Aaron Rodgers may still end up there. I don't think so. I think if anywhere, he's going to end up in Pittsburgh. Uh, it's about the only team left that might need one.
Hmm.
Feeling that Cleveland's going to go with Kenny Pickett and then maybe draft somebody and give the kid a chance if they think they can work with him. Philly re-signed Carson Wentz as a backup. That just they must have really done some talking because I mean Hertz was his backup.
Right.
That's a role reversal, and you wonder ego wise. I mean, I don't think Hertz has a problem with it because Hertz has already proven now who he is.
Do you think he's going to be the backup? Because I think that third stringer
I
played pretty
love that
well.
third string quarterback. I can't remember his name. I loved him. Be honest with you, if he wasn't the backup, I would think the Eagles would put him out there to trade with somebody uh, to see if somebody will give them something to give him a shot somewhere.
Hmm.
I'll tell you, I like that kid. He's tough, man. He's got an arm
Hmm.
and he makes right decisions. Um, so I like that kid. You're right. Um, but I don't think you sign Carson Wentz to be a third stringer. I think he's going to be a backup, the backup holding the clipboard again. He's going to be, the most expensive clipboard guy in the league, unless, yeah, probably will be. I was going to say unless Russell holds the clipboard, but he's not getting paid much by the Giants because I think he's still on Denver's payroll for
I was
millions.
actually kind of surprised with that move because the Giants, I thought were going to look for Sanders in the draft,
I did too. There's still some
but
they might and have him sit out completely for the year because I think Russell's only signed for a year, and I'm pretty sure Jameson's only signed for a year. But um, I think the key is Dable and Shane or Shen, the GM, are going to probably be gone if they don't win more than 4 games this year. They got to show some improvement. So I think they're desperate trying to find if one of those two guys can lead them to more wins. Because if they take a draft pick, that's a year, even if he's playing, a year of him probably doing well, unless you get a Jaden Daniels or somebody.
mhm.
Um, so I don't think, they wanted to take a chance. They might still take the draft pick, but he's not going to start because they're desperate to keep their jobs.
Right.
Uh, so I don't see it. I think you're going to look at Philly, Washington, Dallas, and the Giants will fight it out for last place, I think. And Washington could very well win the division. And Philly finished two as a wild card or something because of the changes that Philly's had to make.
Hmm.
Um, but I like the way Washington's going, man. I mean, they're moving up too, and they're playing tough. Um, and then you look at out west. I think the Rams are still the cream of the crop out there. Seattle signing Darnold might be a little risky now. At first, it looked like it'd be a good move, but those last 2 games he played for Minnesota were awful.
Oh yeah.
So and they let DK Metcalf go.
Yeah. Where did he go? I forget.
Uh, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
They say Aaron Rodgers has been working out with him.
Hmm.
So
I don't
Devontae,
think that's a good move. He needs his ride off into the sunset.
yeah, he needs to go. Cooper Cup, it surprises me. I don't think he's been signed yet. He's still out there. The Rams dumped him and then picked up Devontae Adams. I don't know if that's a Adams will make the great catch, but Cup runs better patterns and I think is more of a clutch receiver.
Yeah. Well, I think Nakua could fill his spot. So
That's what I think they're thinking.
Adams will be the one that stretches the field.
Yep. And then they'll probably draft someone too. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
And I like my team getting Danny Jones because I tell you what, Richardson,
Oh, yeah. No, Richardson's awful.
he's awful. I mean, he
He's
can't
terrible.
50% completion rate.
And
Come
they'll
on.
probably, and I would expect Indy to draft somebody too if somebody's down there. They were talking about this kid. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember his name. It was just on the tip of my tongue too, and I meant to write it down. Uh, that might be available halfway through, and a lot of people are starting to like him. But
Yeah, but Danny Jones is young. If he has a
he's
line,
young, and he's got some skills. He showed it the first year with the Giants, so he just may need, um, he just may need to be coached up a little bit. Richardson, you come out of a game because you're tired. What kind of message does that send to your team?
yeah.
Come on, give me a
No,
break.
I never liked when they drafted him anyway because that's just
No, he's one dimensional. They're saying, "Oh, he's a project." Well, guess what? Your project didn't work. So
I
move on. So I think the AFC will be more interesting this year.
got
Uh,
Trotter there.
what's it say? I can't get on. Got stuck here with. Oh, okay. All right. I'll just respond to him and we'll. Okay. No problem. There we go. I thought he meant he couldn't get on physically. What it amounts to is, I mean, he's got 6 kids. It only takes one or two to start crying, and
Yeah,
he's
he's got
done.
that hockey team.
Yep, that's it. So, all right. So we've got that. NFL's kind of covered, but I didn't expect Philly to win like they did. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I changed my pick to them, but I didn't expect to win as big as they did because even that score doesn't indicate how bad that game was.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean that last touchdown pass was because the Eagles had their second and third string defenders in. So, you know, uh, we were looking up earlier. Big weekend this weekend for NCAA basketball. Today is the final for the women's uh, tournament. South Carolina against UConn. And Bill, you checked it, and it looks like it's a 7.5 point spread for UConn to win.
yes, I know it's shocker. I mean,
That's a big spread
unless
to
my
me.
eyes are going on me, I was yeah, that's what
It says, huh? Seven.
ESPN has. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't see a line from CBS, but
yeah. And I would think, me personally, like I told you, I think I think UConn might win, but I don't see 7.5.
no, I don't.
I see about a 4 point game, 5 point game. I would, if I was betting, I would bet uh, UConn to win, but South Carolina to cover. Um,
Yeah,
I,
I agree with you. But I tell you what, it's exciting watching Paige Beckers, and she just
she is playing her heart out, man.
going to be the number one draft pick in
Yep.
the women's draft.
Oh yeah. I think it'll be. I feel bad for USC because Juju Watkins, who's the best player in women's basketball as far as college is concerned, getting hurt in the tournament. Um, that you feel bad about that because how far could USC had gone with her
Mhm.
in the lineup? But that's part of the games that we play, and at least she's not permanently hurt, and she'll be able to recover. And then it's a matter of does she stay in college or does she move on to the WNBA? So um, the difference there is the WNBA doesn't pay like the NBA and the other leagues. So
Right.
NIL money might be pretty good in college sometimes for women's basketball players to stay in for that extra year.
Yeah. Well, if she stays in college, she'll definitely be the number one pick. So now you don't know how far she'll fall down the board because of the
Right,
injury.
because of the injury too. So, yeah, I would take a look at what the NIL money is going to look like for her, and if I'm her, and say, okay, you know what, maybe I'll stay and try to build my stock back up, show everybody I'm healthy,
Mhm.
show everybody I'm good, and that and get drafted next year when I'll get more money.
Yep.
I think you're right. I think that's the way to go there. Um, we take a look at men's game tomorrow night. Florida's picked by, or you said no, it was
Florida's favored by 1
Florida's favored by 1.
over Houston. Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what, that to me, style wise, is going to be very similar to last night. Florida runs and guns, so Houston's going to want to slow them down. Houston's defense is suffocating. I mean,
Hmm.
their defense is incredible. Um, and what I noticed about their defense during this tournament too is they're gritty, they're hard nosed, but they still get rebounds. A lot of times when you're playing defense, especially on the guys out in the perimeter, you're almost giving up that rebounding position, that ability to box out because guys are getting past you. And so, but these guys still box out. They still get in. They got long arms and they still figure out ways to keep balls alive and get rebounds. I mean, the
Hmm.
biggest play was a deflection off a rebound, offensive rebound last night. One guy deflects it to another who kicks it out to a guy to make a three, and it puts him back in the game. Um, so there were some really tough defensive plays, and let's face it, Duke went cold.
Oh yeah, they went cold. But what did surprise me though is them letting him get off that 3-point shot to tie the or was
Yeah,
that the tie the game or is that the no to put him
it
up
put
one
him,
to put
I
him
think
up one.
put him up one. I think.
Yeah, I would have fouled him so he wouldn't
Yep.
be able,
Make
give him
him
the
make
two
all
foul
three at the
shots.
line. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and he probably wouldn't have been in the shooting thing. So I would have just fouled him as soon as they came over the line. So then it would just been two shots.
Right. Yeah, he might have been out over
And
the.
if he makes both of them, then you still got the 1 point
He
lead.
still got the
But
one
you
point
can't
lead.
give him an open shot like that. That was
Yeah.
just
Yeah. But the way it works with Houston, you can see it. They're kind of a helter skelter team. They like to play that way. They like to muck things up.
mm,
And I think that's what happened is Duke is more of a precision type of offense, more of a let's set up some plays. Or we'll run and gun a little bit when it's there. Um, Cooper Flag is he's everything everybody asked for, and then some.
mm-hmm.
He really is that guy. Um, there was some talk about he shouldn't have taken a fadeaway in that last. You know what? He makes that shot
He's
a
been
lot.
doing it all year.
Yeah. He just didn't make that one. Again, it was good defense. The guy was in his face. Um, I mean, if he makes it, he's a great clutch player. If he misses it, it's a shot he shouldn't have taken. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
You got guys going. I think Kenny Smith was like after the game was like, he should have driven in, and Barkley's like, he makes that shot 8 out of 10 times. It's not. It's a shot he takes and makes.
Mm-hmm.
You like to see him drive it in, yeah, but you also got to realize maybe it wasn't that easy. I mean, he drove in a lot last night and met up with guys blocking his shot or
Mm-hmm.
blocking his way. Like we said, if he makes that shot, he's a hero. He missed it, so now he's the GOAT. And it's part of the game, but you can't blame him. It wasn't just him. They scored 1 point the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he can. That can. Yeah.
No, that was that technical foul off the what would have been a nice defensive play if the ball wasn't still behind the line.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a BS rule thing. And then they still get the ball back and they couldn't score. So you got to give Houston their props for playing good defense. There's a lot of things in a close game that you can look at and say this could have changed it, that could have changed it. But let's face it, they were down 6 at half. They were down 12 before right before that. Cut it to 6 before half, and we're still down.
I think they got up to 14. I think it was up to
It was up to
14-point lead.
14,
Yeah.
and with about 2 minutes left, it was still at like 8. You got an 8 point lead with 2 minutes left. You got to figure out a way to hang on. Uh, but that's easier said than done. I mean, they did what they had to do. It was a great
Mm-hmm.
game. Florida, meanwhile, they were in a tough one for a while. Auburn outplayed them bad the first half, but then even Bruce Pearl, Auburn's coach, at the end said we just got tired. You could see it. We played great, but then we got tired the second half, and they couldn't turn it back on. Florida did, and one kid had. The only thing is, Florida's got one big scorer. He had 34 points last night. Uh, so I think, maybe you say you got to pick. Do we let this kid score his points? Crowder, I think is his name, or do we try to slow him down?
Yeah, let somebody else beat you.
Yeah, make somebody else beat us. Um, and Houston probably has already decided what to do with that. Do we double? I mean, they played well against Flag, and he still had a good game. They
Hmm.
made it tough for him,
Sure.
and that would be my thing: is make it tough for this kid to score points and keep getting these rebounds. They get him on
Mhm.
offense, especially offensive rebounds. Houston gave themselves so many chances last night to score again, and they did by getting offensive rebounds and then going back out and setting it up, unless it was the easy slam on them or something. So, uh, I think I. It's hard to say, but I think Houston might win this game. I
Yeah, it's hard for me.
uh, it,
I would probably lean that way, but
I
it's
think
just,
if it's a close game, Houston figures out a way to win.
mhm.
Uh, and what they said last night is no matter which way they go, you're either going to have the youngest coach ever win a national title or the oldest coach win the national title. One's the oldest ever, one's the youngest ever to get to the title game. So that'll be interesting
So
as
you're
well.
going to take Houston then?
I think I'm going to take Houston.
I'm going to take the
You're going to
Gator.
take the Gators. There you go. There you go. It's almost a pick 'em, like you said, Florida by one. So, uh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Houston. I think the defense figures out a way, and if it's close at the end, I think you got to give the advantage to Houston if it's within a bucket at the end. So, um, we've got that, and then last but not least, you've got Major League Baseball, which is kind of just getting started. So we're both still getting our feet wet a little bit. Um, Otani, of course, is hitting pretty well, but not great, but pretty well. He did have a big home run the other night, a walk off, of course. Dodgers were 8-0 till the Phillies beat them Friday night. Uh, and the Braves were 0-7 until they won Friday night. So they both lost their streaks. Braves are getting hit by injuries like crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the Braves 1-8. That's just
Yeah. They're getting smacked with injuries. But they expect to get a couple guys back pretty soon, and we'll see if that changes anything. The Nationals still look awful. The Mets, Soto hasn't really found his own way yet, though he did have an RBI double the other day, but
mm,
uh, he
yeah,
hasn't.
they're a game behind Phillies, Marlins, a game and a half.
Yep.
Now in
Um,
the West is really good. You got Dodgers 9-1,
oh,
Giants 7-1, and Padres 7-2.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, that West, I think, is going to be a nail biter. I think Giants are surprising some people, and you can't count Arizona out either.
yeah.
The only team you can count out kind of is the Rockies. They're not good. They have some young players, but they're still a few players away. Uh,
Hmm.
then when you look at um, the Central, you got what the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates, and Milwaukee. I still think the Cubs are making some noise, but it's early. I think it'll be the Cubs and Milwaukee to fight that one out.
Hmm.
Uh, right about the East, it'll be in some order of Philly, New York, and see what happens there. Um,
Get back to the game here.
I'm looking at it.
Ovechkin's got 0 goals in 3 games against the goalie of the Islanders.
Oh, he might not get it today. Then you never know. He's still got a couple games after today. He's on a shift now. Actually, he's on the ice.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then the American League, Judge is hitting home runs like crazy. Um,
Yeah, they had a game where they had 9 home runs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
holy crap, what's in those bats?
Well, the weird part is with Judge, he's not using the torpedo bat, which people are going, oh, it should be illegal. But then I saw the explanation for it, and technically it's not. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just the distribution of the weight, which you can distribute any way you want. So basically, it's players doing something. If you think about it, I'm surprised they didn't do years ago, and that's figure out a way for their swing to put the weight where they hit the ball. If you hit it
Mhm.
steady on the trademark, well, let's put the weight on the trademark. And that's what some of them are doing. They're figuring out where that weight is going. Uh,
Mhm.
First, they said, oh, they're going to be found illegal. But within the rules, you really can't find them to be illegal. So, um, and I don't think they're going to help everybody. And some players aren't going to use them. Judge has already said, I don't have any interest in it. And I wouldn't if I was him. He already
Mhm.
hit 900 home runs, you know? I mean, why would I change? You know, I mean, I hit the ball out of the ballpark the way it goes, so I'm not changing. So I don't blame him. Um, but there are some guys who are going to swear by it. Same old thing. I think it's probably an overrated situation. It'll just be ego for some guys. Some guys might make better contact, and good for them. But I don't think it's a problem to me that has to be addressed. Uh, American League looks almost like it's going to be up for grabs. It might be the Yankees again. Boston's coming around a little bit now that they got Devers.
I'll tell you what, I like that picture they got, that crochet or
Oh, for Boston, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh man, he went 8 the other day.
man.
Struck out 10 or 11, and he's on. Yeah, yeah. I like him. He looks good. Um, that's a good pickup. So I think um, it's going to be kind of interesting. And the Red Sox have put in a couple younger guys and they're trying to get them going. And it looks like they got a new second baseman, young guy, a rookie. He looks good. Uh, you still have Durant in left, Raphael in center. They got a fast outfield. This kid
Mhm.
Abreu is hitting home runs, which is they expect him to hit some, but I think he's doing better than they thought. Um, but they still and picking up Bregman is
Oh
huge
yeah, yeah.
and getting if they can get Devers on track, he has the last couple games finally started to hit the ball a little bit at DH. I think he's a natural DH. And they finally talked him into it. At first he was like, no, third base is my position. And it was funny when you signed the best one and you're trying to get the third one to just DH. And it's like, come on. Because Devers was the worst. He really was
Right.
statistically last year. And Bregman was the best.
Mhm.
Um, Bregman, his bat's starting to come around. It did the other day. So um, I looked at the Phillies the other day. Like I said, Friday night, they looked pretty good. Yesterday, not so much. But I look at it this way: they're facing the Dodgers, who, when their starter gets in a little bit of trouble in the fourth, they take him out. Their
Yeah.
bullpen so deep.
I just think they're all around there very solid compared to
Yeah.
my team where there's no pitching. It's just
Yep. Yeah. That's a shame
and
with your team.
and they have an owner now that's saying that hey, you get whatever you want,
Orioles. Yeah.
but they haven't the GM hasn't done it.
I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, because that's really all they need. They've got good hitters and they're good fielders, but their pitching is just not good. It's a shame, really. Um, Rushman's back, and he looked pretty good the other day. So
Yeah,
Mount,
Henderson just came off the DL.
yeah, he came back up off the DL. So it's going to take a few games for them to get acclimated again off of being injured, but they'll be in the hunt, I think, for something, whether it's a wild card or whatever. And they're fun to watch,
Hmm.
and that's what it's all about.
They picked up one of your guys, O'Neill. That was nice.
Yeah, and for the sixth year in a row, hit an opening day home run. He's
Hmm.
two or three different teams, but every year for the last 6 years, he's hit an opening day home run.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They said nobody in baseball's ever done that. And I'm like, When you look at guys like Babe Ruth and Bonds and Covey and
Mhm.
Maggio, Williams, all the way down the line, all these plays, Willie Mays, all these players, and you get a guy like Tyler O'Neill, who, let's just say, he's not quite in their league, but he's got his name in the books. He's the first one
Yeah.
ever to do it. So no matter what happens, give him credit there. But yeah, and they picked him up, and that's not a bad pickup actually. He's a pretty steady player. So um, Central looks like Cleveland and the Twins again. Uh, I think they're your best pick. The White Sox are going to be terrible again. Uh,
Mhm.
Detroit Detroit could be in the hunt again as well. It depends on their pitching. Um, then you got what? Texas. Oakland is playing in Sacramento, which holds 18,000 people in their stadium. And it's going to be for at least 2 years, maybe three, before their stadium in Vegas is built. So it that's a terrible scenario there. That's awful there.
Yeah, yeah, it's not.
Seattle, which a lot of people think are going to be pretty good, and the Angels, who aren't, which is a
Mhm.
shame. Trout's healthy at least for now, and he's starting to hit the ball a little bit. I
But
think
for how long?
for how long? Well, I think they moved him to right field, thinking that would help his injury situation a little bit because of running around more in center field. I don't know. Usually, you move a guy to the infield. I mean, I don't know who they have at first base, but I'd see if he wants to play first base. But if you know Trout, he probably doesn't. He accepted right field probably, but probably wouldn't accept without a fight first base, at least for a few
Yeah,
years. There's always talk of him getting traded to Philly, but Philly would have to give up way too much to get him. Um, but I will
and
say
if I'm the Angels, I mean, he's been hurt what the past 5 years. I mean, yeah, I don't even think he's had a full season. I don't know how long.
it's probably been about 5 years. You're
And
right.
I would just get what you can for him. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
first you get out of his contract, and
yeah,
second of all, you get something.
right.
I mean,
It's
I'm sure they could get Castellanos,
or
and
even if you,
they
even
get
if,
somebody.
yep, even if you get the team to take half his contract,
Hmm.
you're still better off. You know, half his contract and a couple minor league prospects
Hmm.
because the Angels need a lot more than one or two good players
Oh yeah.
or a Castellanos on a prospect or something.
Hmm.
They probably wouldn't take Brad Marsh because they're the ones that traded Marsh to the Phillies in the first place. Um, I'm not a Marsh. I'm okay with him. I kind of root for him,
Hmm.
but if I looked at it objectively, offensively, he's a liability. I mean, um, he's got speed, but the only thing that makes him look decent is he gets on base more than Rojas. Rojas is a great fielder,
Yeah.
but he just isn't. He just can't get on base. So um, I think yeah, Philly has some needs. Kepler looks okay in left.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like that pickup. I think that
yeah,
was a real good pickup.
yeah, it's a good one. So I think center field is really their weakness. I really do. And second base, Stott hasn't shown me anything the last couple of years. Um, Now he did have a decent hit the other night, which reminded me of 3 years ago when he would go to left field with two strikes,
Hmm.
and he did exactly that. Went between uh, short and third, single RBI, and it was a big one that they needed Friday night. So I'm like, if he does more of that again, his average will climb up again, and he'll be
Hmm.
productive again.
Yeah, I don't think he's one of those franchise guys. I think he's
No,
somebody that's been above it, above his
right?
ability. I think. I mean,
Yeah, he's not Chase Utley.
nah.
No, but how many guys are? But still, how many second basemen are Chase Utley?
Hmm.
Um, but I guess sometimes you got to look at what you got to, and with that luxury tax slash, might as well call it a salary cap, You are kind of strapped, even though Middleton has spent over the money. It's probably got to be within some kind of reason. So, who's out there. But Marsh is a guy that you could throw into a Mike Trout mix.
Hmm.
Not Stott, I mean. Yeah,
Stop. Yeah, I know you.
Stott's a guy you could throw into that Mike Trout trade possibility with somebody else in a draft pick and go from there. And if he wants to go back to center, that's where you put him, man. I mean, in Philly in center field, he could probably clean up offensively
Yeah.
at shorter field. I think he'd be all right there.
Well, they were always needed a left-handed bat, but now they got that. Now I think
They got
they need the
lefties like crazy.
right they need the
They could
right
use,
hand power now.
yep, they could use a righty. I think you put him, uh, leave Harper at three, but put him at 4 or 5, probably 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the fact that they kept Bohm. There was all these trade rumors, but I'm like, who's any better? Maybe Arenado. That's about it at third base. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, Bohm was last year's All-Star starter, and I mean, I like the fact they didn't get rid of him. I mean, the guy comes up with clutch hits. If you're looking for a home run guy, he's not a big home run guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to drive in runs, and he's steady. And he made some great plays yesterday at third base, man. Some backhand plays. I mean, they were really great. So, um, yeah, when you break the team down like that, I think to me, they're offensive piece short,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2. And that's what killed them last year. The bats went cold in the playoffs. Uh, Same thing happened in 23. It looked like they had a chance to win the whole series, and the bats went cold. 2 games at home to win one,
Yeah.
and they lost them both.
And see, that's where a Trout would come in handy because he doesn't slump very much and
No, no. And
he makes contact. You know.
he'll come out of it anytime. I mean, think about it. If you put Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Trout, 1, 2, 3, 4, man, that's a lineup, buddy.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
I mean, and Castellanos isn't a slouch. Riamuto, did you see the throwouts he made Friday night?
No.
One in the eighth, one in the ninth, both with 2 out. The Dodgers had guys on. It was first and third for the Dodgers. Otani would be the tying run. He was at first. Uh, and I can't think of who it was. Oh, it was Mookie Betts was at the plate. Otani runs. Now he'd stolen 38 in a row. Realmuto gunned him.
Hmm.
Done. End of the end. End of the inning. End of the eighth. Gone. Phillies lead.
Wow.
Ninth inning. Uh, Somebody got on base, and they bring in Chris Taylor to run. With 2 outs, he goes to take off. Realmuto, bam, gunned him. Ends the game. They put it first. He was called safe, and the Phillies reviewed it, and you could see he was out. It was close, but he was out, and
Hmm.
ends the game. And you could see Realmuto's reaction. He threw the ball, and then when he saw the play, saw he had him, and they showed Realmuto, and he's like, "Yes!" And then he sees safe, and he's like, "Usually you don't see Realmuto go. You got to be." He was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And like he knew he had him. He knew the throw beat him. So it would have been a matter of did he miss the tag,
Right.
but he didn't miss the tag. So almost missed the tag. He got him like on a calf, almost up at the knee, but he got him just before he hit the bag. Um, But he saved the game with those 2 throws. One in the
Hmm.
eighth, one in the ninth. Bang, bang, done. See ya. But um, so they're 2 pretty good teams. I mean, there were people already. It's April, and they're going, "This could be your National League Championship
Oh yeah.
Series." I was like, "Well, then why don't we just play it in October and get fuck the rest of it?" Yeah, just let's get to October. Screw these next 6 months. We don't need them. Yeah. So, so yeah, the hype, and they all do it. The NFL does it. Who's gonna, let's face it, you and I just talked about the NFL already. So I mean, the trade, the drafts, the NFL just wants to monopolize the sports headlines, I think, for
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but um I think if you think about it, that's pretty much it, buddy, unless you got something else. I mean, we're still watching Ovechkin. He hasn't scored yet. I think we're in the first intermission.
Yeah, we're in the first intermission, and he's still off the scoreboard.
Yeah, still not on the board. You might
And
be right. I mean, I saw the graphic right after you did, and it came up. Yeah.
the Islanders might say, "Hey, you're not doing it against
You know what?
us."
You're not going to do it against us.
So I mean,
Yeah. And the Islanders are still in the hunt for
mhm.
playoff stuff. So, you know, they're going to play hard. You're not going to get it easy, but it's never easy anyway when you come to these things. So
No,
I kind of hope he gets it, but even if he doesn't get it today, I hope he gets it
I
for
don't. Let's see if his next game, home game. Let's see.
uh
Let me check here.
check that out.
Uh,
Bill is on our research committee.
he don't play Monday. Let's see if they
Right.
play Tuesday. Uh, doesn't play Tuesday.
Look at this. I'm trying to see what the score. I think the Islanders are up, aren't they?
Yeah, Islanders are winning. They don't play Wednesday, so I think the next time he'll have a chance is Thursday at home against Carolina, which wouldn't be an easy task either.
No, no, not against
But
my
yeah,
team.
so Thursday would be his next chance of breaking it.
Oh, I did see that your team, the Flyers, dumped Tortorello.
They did drop him,
Yeah,
and then and then they go ahead and win like three in a row. It's like, dude, tank. They don't even know how to tank right.
they can't even. Yeah, they were trying to tank for a draft pick, and
Like, come on, you got to get in the top five.
yeah.
There's Gretzky. Yeah, he is there.
Oh, are they shouting? Because I got the halftime show here. They're the studio show. Oh, I did just see
Yeah.
some kind of a picture of a little kid that said Gretzky waiting for his record to be broken.
So,
Sometimes some of those things are funny, but
but yeah, so they can't even tank right. So,
that's unreal, isn't it?
but I can understand the players. They want to
Players
play.
want to win. I don't want to go
They
out there
want
and
to
lay down.
win. They want to keep their spot for next year. And
Yeah, or look for a job somewhere else. If I play well now, even if I'm not here, I might get a job somewhere else. You know, if they see
but
me.
they got to really do something because I mean, half their team's a minor league team. And they need more than just this draft coming up. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, they're years away still, 2 or 3 years if everything goes right. Uh,
I like Mitchkov. Mitchkov, and he's played very well since Torts left. So
yeah, yeah, and sometimes it does take some kind of a change to either wake
I
guys
mean,
up or how they're used.
yeah, I mean, I can understand Torts in a way because if the kid's making mistakes, especially defensively, he ain't getting back or whatever.
Yeah,
You can't just let him stay out there and let him do his thing. But
right.
if you're going to stink anyway, let him go out there
Let
and
him
do his
go,
thing.
but coach him up.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, the way the Flyers are, they weren't going to win the cup. So
right.
let's find out how good the kid is and let him play and try to coach him up. And then if he doesn't respond, then you got to do what you got to do. But
Mm,
you're right in that situation. I think you got to let him play. If you
mm,
have something invested in him, you got to let him play and see what he can do. And
yep.
if he can't, he can't. I just thought of something too, and it left me. So oh well. I'll probably think of it as soon as we
As
disconnect.
soon as we as soon as we
Son
could
of
get.
a- I know that. But yeah, it's that's going to be tough. Who do you like in the NHL? I know it's early.
Uh, you know what? Let me just because it's been it's let's see. Oh, you got the Maple Leafs who are number one in the Atlantic.
Right?
Capitals number one in the Metro, and by a lot. I mean they're 107 points.
It is.
and in the West, it's the Jets and Stars are the two top teams. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really follow some of the other teams, but I guess you got to take the 100-point people team.
Yeah, well, I've seen the Jets a couple times. They look really good. Wouldn't surprise me if it comes down to the Jets and
You
the
got the Stars, and you got the Avalanche's third.
yeah, they're playing well too. But I like the Jets. So, uh, and then I take a look at the NBA. Kevin Durant's probably played his last game in Phoenix because he's out injured for the rest of the season, and I'm
Time
sure,
to hang it up.
yeah, I think they'll trade him. He's still scoring points, but he's just not a good fit there.
Hmm.
He has. There was talk he'd go back to the Warriors, but I think he turned that down. I think he made it. There was a chance of him going during the season, and he said he didn't want to go back there. So I don't know what happened there, but if they want him back there, somebody's gonna have to mend a fence. But uh, I think he hurt his legacy when he went there because they won championships before him and after him. So you got to
Yeah,
say how productive was he in those? And he
well,
hasn't
I
won
think
anything
he's got
else
to.
anywhere.
Yeah, he's at a point in his life where he's got to be a role player. You
Yeah,
can't.
yep. Kind of like Thompson in Dallas,
Hmm.
who's fit in nicely. He's had some great games there. There's a team that's just I still don't understand the Luca trade, to be honest with you.
No, and I don't think Anthony Davis is going to want to stay there. So I don't. I mean,
Yeah, he wanted to stay. Um, so I just think they're done. That GM is done. Jason Kidd, I don't think he's done because I think they're figuring he's stuck with what he's got. It's not his
mhm.
fault.
Right.
So, but go from there. What do we got? We still got
Yeah, he's got 6 shifts, 4 minutes, 29 seconds of ice time, and one shot.
one shot. So
So you're not gonna get the goal
not
with
gonna
one
get much with one shot.
shot.
See what happens. But he's coming back on the ice right now, it looks like. So
Yeah, we'll take this one shift before we sign
before
off.
we sign off. Yep. So yeah, NBA look, I like OKC. Cleveland looks pretty good, though I don't think you can count out Boston.
And he's not on the ice.
No, he came and sat down. I thought he was coming out for a shift. Um,
Yeah, Boston, Cleveland in the East, and this looks,
OKC.
yeah, OKC, man. Phew. You were on the ball with that pick. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, made that one a while ago, and I think they're gonna be tough.
Hmm.
I like Alexander. Denver's lost a little something in translation the last couple of years. Jokic is still a beast, but
Yeah,
they've got a
and
couple guys out hurt too.
yeah, I mean Murray's out,
Yep.
but you know what, in a 5-game series or a 7-game series, Denver could be tough for him.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yep. Uh, I think the Lakers are. Uh, I don't think they're a threat to win the whole thing. I don't think they're a threat to win the division.
mm,
They have gotten better. I would watch out for the Warriors because they are like 21-4, I think, since getting Jimmy Butler. Not that he's the high scorer, but he's a facilitator and
mhm.
uh, a good defender. They are starting to tear it up a little bit. They're climbing. I believe.
And I don't like them, but I guess you got to look out for the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Lakers. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. I
No.
just
Yeah. Yeah, they've improved, but they've dropped a little bit lately. But we'll see what happens. I know the Warriors are now they were at like 10th. They're up to sixth now, and if they can get out of sixth, they'll be completely out of that play-in situation.
oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean, all it takes is Curry to averages 28, 30 points a game, and
yeah,
it's
and he's been on fire. A lot of people think he's shooting the best right now, percentage-wise, than he's ever shot in his career, which is
mm,
like wow. So he He's on fire, that guy. And I think Butler frees some stuff up for him. Um, so I think the Warriors could be somebody to watch, but I think in a 5 or 7 game series, the biggest threat to OKC would be Denver.
Hmm.
Um, and Houston's no scrub now either.
Yeah.
Houston's playing well.
Yeah. They're playing real well.
Yeah. Um, and I think whoever wins the West should win the whole thing. Um, Boston or Cleveland could be tough, could make it a good series,
Yeah.
but I think if it's OKC or even Denver, uh, they could win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, I think Cleveland's about a year away if they keep the same group intact. Um, Milwaukee's come on a little bit, but they've got it. Was it Middleton is out? I think still, so
Mhm.
that hurts them. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be OKC. I can't quite pull the trigger quite on Cleveland. I think Boston.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's going to be Boston and OKC. So, and we'll see what happens from there. All right, buddy.
All right.
That's a wrap. Ovi's still sitting. So as of right now, it's a grade 8 chase. Ovechkin needing 1 goal to pass Wayne Gretzky. He still needs 1 goal to pass him. And he is playing right now. There's all kinds of Major League Baseball games on today. Remember tonight, you got the NCAA Women's Championship,
Yeah, it's on in about an hour or two.
about an hour, maybe
Yeah,
two,
three. Yeah, 3 Eastern.
3 Eastern. So it's
So about
about
hour
an
and
hour and a
20,
half.
hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. So that ought to be a fun game to watch. And then, of course, tomorrow night, NCAA Men's Championship. That'll be fun to watch as well. And who could forget the United Football League? Oh, yeah, I have. I did. There's somebody's playing now somewhere. I don't know where, but right now there's a lot of other sports stuff going on, so I don't think anybody's going to be watching that. Uh, there was a story out, Bill, about Angel Reese supposedly being suspended for injecting steroids.
Yeah, didn't hear that.
Um, and it has come out that the story, and it got widespread, but it came out the story is completely false. Um, and there's even a video on YouTube saying she's suspended for life, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. The WNBA came out, she had denied it, of course, which everybody would anyway. But the WNBA came out and said it's absolutely false. There's nothing to it. She's never tested positive. Um, so I don't know who started this thing, but it does tell you sometimes what social media could do to you because that
Yeah.
would ruined her reputation.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
still in some people's eyes. It's kind of, I will say, I think Caitlin Clark put out a statement saying, I know that um, uh, Angel Reese and I aren't close friends, but I will tell you that I would not believe that Angel Reese would take steroids.
mm,
She's too much of a competitor, and she would want to accomplish things on her own and wouldn't want to go back on something that was artificially helped her. Uh, so I mean, and that was a nice statement to put out, that kind of a thing. Uh, I mean, because she didn't have to.
all right.
She just stayed back and let it go. So good for her. But I feel bad for Angel Reese, and I'm not a big fan of Angel Reese. I think she's got a big ego and carries herself. But nobody should have to uh, be subject to that kind of uh, slander. Really, it's libel. It's
Mm,
slanderous, and the damage it could do. So here's hoping that she I hope she gets an attorney and they find out who did it because a couple of these things flat out say she did.
mm,
And if for nobody else but for other people comes out and files a lawsuit, and we got to let people know that you don't do this shit.
yeah. Yeah. I
So,
agree.
so
People just get away with way too
yep,
much
yep.
these days. and not just in sports. I mean, it
No,
just.
I mean everywhere. A lot of misinformation out there that people believe. So
Hmm.
as soon as they read it, they believe it. You can't get them off that track. So
Hmm.
all right,
All
buddy.
right, my friend.
I will see you soon, and good luck in the new digs. And we will talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Before my pal Dennis and Graldi at
That's right.
Vineland Realty Corporation, we can't forget Dennis. He sponsors us every show we do. 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. I got to look up his number for you folks. I'm terrible with phone numbers these days. But if you need help with a business or a residential property of any kind, or the business itself, even if it's not just the property, get a hold of Dennis and his crew at Vineland Realty Corporation in Vineland, New Jersey, if you're in the South Jersey area. Um, they are 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. And I'm going to try and find their phone number for you. Uh,
Oh, he
Vineland.
just had a shot on goal.
Did he? Vinyl Realty Corporation. La 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 la. I want to find it here for you. Jeez. Normally it comes right up. Now they say they've updated.
56690. I don't know what the last four are.
I want to say 9482, but
Sorry, Dennis.
I am sorry, Dennis. I have it right here. Vinyl Realty. Jeez, it's terrible. Vinyl Realty Corporation. The thing about Dennis's crew is even if they don't have uh, the ability to help his uh, themselves, they have a lot of resources too. Yep, 9482. It's 856-690-9482, folks. And you can't get people to care about your situation more in a realty uh, corporation than Vineland Realty. Dennis and his gal Friday, Helen down there, and everybody, they really do care about what works, not just for them, but for you. And they realize that treating a customer right gets them more people to come see them. And they're genuine. They really do care about um, what your needs are and whether it's something that you can afford and something that you want to really have, or is it, do we look somewhere else? They take the time with you to make sure that it's personal and that you get what you want. So it's Vineland Realty Corporation. 856-690-9482, 634 East Landis Avenue, Vineland, New Jersey. We thank Dennis and everybody over there at Vineland Realty for helping us out with every Public John media show we do, including Bill and I here from the cheap seats. Roger couldn't get on, and we know why, but we thank Roger. And for Roger, for Billy, for Dennis, and for the entire production staff, including Ethel, the new executive producer. Um, way to work hard over there. She's just not. Uh, uh, for all of us here from the cheap seats, I'm John Harris. Thanks, Billy Smith. Have yourself a great week, pal.
Take care.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
talking to you.